It's that Thomas XSL again. Now, recently, people have been asking me about what the X in my name means, XSL, and it's pretty funny because they got all these kooky ideas on what the X stands for. But so what does the X in my name stand for? Well, I'm gonna tell you. All it is it's just a space. That's all it represents, is a space in my name. Because as of 2010. The creator of Second Life, Linden Labs, did away with. They used to be first and last names. They did, and you got to have a space in between. But then, as of 2000, or no, after 2010, I guess 2011, they did away with those, and you had to have a one-word name. So if people want like Shannon Stewart, they got to just run it all together as one name. And sometimes people break it up with the capital letter on in each part of the name. Mine doesn't have that. I didn't think that far ahead to like break up my first and last name with capital letters, but some people do. And then if for some reason the name's taken, like I think on mine, Thomas SL was taken, so I had to put the X there. So the X just represents a space. That's all it is. But a lot of people have asked me about my tail as well. So I got this big fluffy tail, and my ears, and I got tail and ears because I'm Neko, what they call Neko in virtual worlds. And if you don't know what Neko is, that just means it's the Japanese word for cat. So it's like I'm a cat man. There's a lot of Neko women in SL. As far as other virtual worlds, get down. Sorry, my real life cat was like trying to climb up on my damn desk. Get down. Attention hogs. Damn cats. Yeah, in Second Life, I'm a cat guy, a cat man. They call them Nekos. So that's a little backstory on my name and what I am. I know as you watching these videos of mine, you're probably wondering, like, what the heck's that black thing behind them? Like, is that a tail? And yeah, it's my cat tail. Stop it! My cat's trying to play with my mouse. That is not a mouse for you to be playing with. So this is going to be another building video, and this one we're gonna. Oh crap! My camera kind of freaked out. And today we're going to build something cooler than that picture frame. We're going to build a car in Second Life. So I'm going to gracefully hop down. Where's my stand button? I'm going to gracefully hop down off of this girder. There we go. And give you a nice little eye level view of my crotch. And we're going to move over here to where I got my little TV board set up. Let me get set up here, turned around the right way, and there we go. So this video, we're going to be building something that moves. We're going to be building just a quick and easy car in Second Life. And if you look behind me, you'll see I have my YouTube TV set to a video called "Creating Simple Cars in Second Life" by Jeff Heaton. It's the video that helped me when I was first in SL to build vehicles. But some of the things in this video here are a little outdated. There's been some changes to SL as far as like physics and the driving positions and whatnot. Like in his video, there's no driving positions, so I'm going to show you how to build a car with driving positions with the driving position and with a couple more sounds. And there's actually, let me bring up my inventory. If you look right here, right at the junk box, sports car kit, scripts and sounds, and there's another one below it, unlockable car kit, scripts and sounds. So the difference is one script here. It's the DT car script. The DT is just drifting thoughts car script from probably 2007. This was all pulled out of one of the older vehicles. but I went through the script and I tuned it down to where it steers better. It's not as erratic in the steering, and the handling is a lot better. It's geared down because I'm going to show you these. So here, forward powered gears. There was only 2 speeds, 60 and then 200 miles an hour, and I scaled it down. I brought all the speeds down. There's a hell of a lot more gears than originally was on here, but they're a lot more gradual, a lot more easy to drive. And I reduced the reverse power. It was set at like 40 or 60, some stupid amount where you'd back up like halfway across a sim in no time. I upped the turning power, but I turned off the turn speed adjust because that was just kind of getting in the way of things. And that's a sports car kit. Comes with the sounds and everything on the driving position, which is real quick. I'll put that on, double click that, play in world, and that's what the driving position is. Real basic. There is more advanced driving positions in Second Life through the marketplace, but I'll get a DMCA filed against me if I was to give those away full perm, so we're just going to stick with giving away these freebie ones. This one's called Driving Generic and the Unlockable Car Kit. Now what that unlockable means is that the vehicles can only be driven by the people that own them. So in the sports car kit, when you build it, you're going to be the only one to drive it unless you give it away to somebody else. But the unlockable, you're going to be able to type in a code right here in local chat, and it's going to unlock it so your friends can drive around in it. You still own it, but they can drive around in it. This unlockable car kit has a few more functions and a few more sounds. It has the idle, run, and startup, but it also has the rev sound and the plane sound, because that one actually is that script has like a flying car portion of that script. And this one script down here at the bottom says stop. You don't really need to worry about that. I'm throwing that one in there as extra. It's supposed to stop the animations, but once you stand up out of the car, your avatar will stop the animations. So in the description, down in the description below in this video, I'm going to put the link for these 2 kits, which are going to be free on the marketplace in my junk box store. So you'll be able to get those, and it just has the scripts and the sounds. So we're going to go ahead and start. We'll just start with the sports car kit real quick. So I'm going to pull back. I guess there's flies or moths around this in Bay City because I keep swinging at something. So we're going to start off by right clicking the ground at an area like right up here where we can res items. And here in just Bay City Mulworth, if we let this load up objects, see auto return other residence objects, minutes 0 for off. It's 180 minutes, so we got got more than 2 hours, which is plenty enough time. It's more than enough time to build this simple car we're going to be doing. So right click on the ground, hit create, and just res a box. Now if you look, where's my mini map? Okay, if you look on the mini map here, let me get cam over this way. Whenever you drop a fresh script like this car into a prim and you go to sit on it in any vehicle, you're going to automatically be facing to the east. So we're going to just go ahead and start building the car with that direction as the front of it, since that's the direction that they're going to point our avatar when we go and sit into this vehicle. Now if you're pulling cars out of your inventory, they might be facing west or another direction, just because the people that made those probably jumped in for a test drive and drove around, and then they just took it in inventory as the car was sitting on the ground. But if you're dropping a fresh script into a new prim that you created, you're going to be facing the east, which is pretty strange because, and in this other video of mine, we're going to be talking about bots in Second Life and what's weird is bots are just avatars are just hanging around on the mainland. Sometimes they're sitting down, sometimes they're standing. Sometimes they can be pretty old. They can be from like 2007 or avatars from 2006 or past that. But what's weird is that they all face the east too. It is strange. I don't know if it's something that Linden Labs designed, that avatars face east. And I think when you first come into SL2, I think you'll be facing to the east. But unless it's just the computer, just the thing with the computers that it just happens to face that way. But okay, so we're gonna res this prim, and a lot of people go and click on stretch, and a lot of people will build by numbers, where they put the numbers like right here on objects. On size, they'll put the size. They'll just input the numbers like 2. And when you click away, it'll automatically shape. I'm a real hands-on guy, so I don't tend to build by numbers a whole lot unless I'm trying to get through something really quickly. But normally I just grab the, I don't even know what you would call it, grab the stretch box or the stretch point and just stretch it. So for this vehicle here, we're gonna pull it up so it's off the ground, and just, let's see, judging by my avatar size, I'm just going to pull it kind of wide. We're just making a simple car. Later on you can make a much fancier one where you can actually set better dimensions and more clear dimensions, but we're just going to go with this right here. And we're going to go to texture. We're going to hit texture, blank, blank, there we go. And then we'll color this one not pink. We'll color it blue, light blue. I'm a cat's trying to rape me. Stop, I'm afraid she's gonna bite my foot. We'll go with lime green because that is my girl's favorite color. Okay, so we got this nice little rectangle here, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna shift drag, shift copy, shift drag copy, shift copy I think, or drag copy. Probably shift drag copy is what they call it. We're gonna just hold down our shift button, and with our left mouse button we're gonna highlight this blue arrow coming up, and while we hold down shift we're gonna click that left mouse button and drag straight up and make a copy. And we're going to drag it up to where it's just touching the other prim. And going to hit stretch, going to move our, and to move this edit menu around, you just left click on it towards the top and you can just drag it anywhere. Highlight the red box and just push it back. Okay, and you're going to go back to res, and we're going to go to circle, and we're going to res a circle on the ground. We're going to hit, and we're going to push and hold Alt while clicking our left mouse button and camming around for a better view. We're going to click rotate. We're going to highlight the red circle. We're going to left click, hold, bring out past the scale, snap to grid, going south with it, south, there we go. Go to stretch. We're going to go to stretch both sides up here. We're going to start from this top, and well, it doesn't really matter what corner you grab, it's all going to shrink towards the middle. But we're going to go ahead and go down about that far is good. These are just rough. I mean, none of this has to be on the money as far as what size it has to be or whatever. We're just picking what, whoops. We're just picking what looks alright for now. We're gonna go ahead and drop down the wheel on the blue axis, Z-axis, Z-axis. Click stretch again, stretch both sides. We're gonna pull out a little bit more. That's about good enough. Uncheck that, go to move. We're gonna go to color. We're gonna go to black. Okay. Gonna cam around. And it doesn't matter if the wheels are here or if the wheels aren't touching it at all, because it's going to all be linked together as one piece. We'll just put those in like so. Now later on we're going to mess with wheel scripts where we drop in special scripts into these wheels and they actually steer like front wheels should. So we're going to do shift, highlight the green arrow and drag copy, and then release shift, or you're going to have like a bunch of these wheels all over the place. Okay, we're going to just kind of eyeball this from the front. Looks alright. That one needs to be pulled over a little bit more to the left if you're behind it. Okay, go ahead and hit shift and then left click on the other wheel, release shift. We're going to hit alt and we're going to hit left click to cam in, and then we're going to hit shift. Well, actually we're going to cam in a little more to the side here. Just move around the camera. Hit shift, highlight the red arrow, left click, hold and drag backwards. Whoops. Well, that didn't work for crap, did it? Let me do that again. I'm gonna just delete these guys here. Highlight one wheel, hold left click to highlight one wheel, hold shift, left click the second wheel, and move your, while holding shift down, move your cursor over the red arrow. What axis is that? Red arrow. Let me just look at right here. X, okay. Left click, highlight one wheel, hold down shift, click the other one, and on the X or the red arrow axis, hold down left mouse button, pull away and release shift so you don't make multiple copies of the wheel other than the two that you want. And we're going to cam around. Now we're going to hit shift. Now in Jeff Heaton's video, he talks about turning the wheel type to glass because physics aren't quite right. And the way he does it in the video is he clicks on the wheel and let's see, what do you got to go now? General? No, it's not in general. Features. It is in features. Okay. You just drop down wood. Now, before in the past, like I said in a past video, Second Life's physics weren't all that great. And his video was made, I think, was that 2006 or 7? Oh, 2008. The physics wasn't all that great back then in SL, and they actually had to come to this menu, click, and had to select glass. You would think you'd have to select rubber because wheels are naturally rubber on the ground, but this was about how much friction the wheels were going to encounter to the ground, and they would make the wheels from glass. If you get older vehicles from freebie stores, you might notice if you edit linked, click on the wheels, you'll probably see that the wheels are set to glass because glass was the less frictional material to go on the ground. And they got plastic flesh. That one's kind of chilling. Wood. The default is wood, and then glass, metal, or stone. These days the physics are improved where it doesn't really matter. You're not really going to encounter that much drag. So for our car's sake, we're just going to leave it as wood. So highlight that one tire, hit shift and left click the other back wheel, and while holding, you're going to keep holding down shift. You're going to, let me just hit alt to cam around here, and anytime you need to cam around, you can let off shift and hit alt and then left click and cam around, and then return back to holding shift and click your other wheel, click your other wheel, click your main body, and click your seat, and then let off shift and come over here and hit link. Now you've linked the car together, and now when you move it on any axis, that car is one piece now. It's one object. Now over here it says one object selected, which is our car, but it says land impact 6. What land impact means? It's basically saying how many prims this vehicle's made with. 6, which is, you can count them out, 4 tires, 1 body, and 1 seat, 6 prims, or 6 building blocks. Now prims are real like common sense like that. You have 8 of them, you link them together, it's going to be that one object's going to count for 8 prims. If you make a car out of 16 prims or 31 prims, it's going to count for that, either 16 or 31 prims, depending on how many building blocks you use. Now mesh, the new mesh cars are goofy because they got a crazy land impact, and you might have a vehicle, you might have a complete car all made with the interior, and it might count for 2 land impact. It counts as 2 prims, but then you add a third one and you're thinking, oh, it's going to be 3 prims now, and it jumps up to like 16. Mesh is really weird like that. That's why I like to build in hard prims, or sculpted prims act the same way as hard prims. If you add 2 and 2 equals 4. With mesh, 2 plus 2 equals like 376, and you're out of prims on your land before you know it, and you can't like build anything else. Like here you see it says remaining capacity is 376 prims. So on this piece of land here where we can res, we got almost 380 prims we can set down. Well, it probably was 380 before we started setting this other stuff down. But so now what we're going to look at is, you'll notice the car is highlighted in blue. Well, it's kind of thin, but all these prims are highlighted blue, except, actually maybe I can turn down let me turn on my I forgot what the heck that's called, my wind light. Environment settings. Oh, environment, I want sun position. Sun position to midnight, maybe that might make it, that's probably worse. That made it worse. Okay, let me go. Damn, I'm trying to show this highlight off. If I go sunrise and sunset, that's going to be either orange or pink. It's going to be orange or pink hue in the sky. But actually, you know what? I can just go to texture, color, and I'll just go to black real quick just to show you. That's better. Now all these prims they're all highlighted in blue, except for the seat prim is in yellow. Now the seat prim, as you recall, was the last thing we clicked on before we linked everything together. And the reason why we did that is because where the avatar sits in the vehicle is that's also where you put the scripts in to make the thing work. So your seat, it doubles as the car's engine. Now some people will get clever, and instead of making the root prim a seat, the root prim will actually be like the base of the car, and they'll actually have different sculpted seats. But it doesn't matter, because that root prim is still what your avatar is really sitting on when he gets in the car to run it. So your root prim is the seat, and it also is the engine that's driving the vehicle. Now if you're clicking around, and let me see, just do real quick. If you're clicking around and you accidentally, let's say you want to make the seat your root prim, but you accidentally click the body and you don't realize it until you link it up to later on, and you're like, oh, I wanted the seat to be the root prim and not the body. All you have to do is go to edit linked prim, you highlight that, you check that, and then what you want to do is the seat you want to be as your root prim, you click that, select unlink. Now it only unlinks that, and the rest of this is still together, so you're not unlinking everything, because sometimes you might have a car that's 50 or 60 prim, and you definitely don't want to unlink it and go back through relinking everything. So use the edit link prims, then you highlight the car, hold down shift, and then you select your root prim as the last prim, so that becomes your seat, and then you hit link, and now that seat is the root prim. It's really important, the last thing you select, because that's what the scripts are going into. And just as important too, there's some builds sometimes when you don't want the root prim to be selected, because you might have like a color change script where you only want the body to change color, and you don't want the wheels and everything else changing color. So in that case, you want that to definitely not be the root prim, or like when you're building a door. But I mean, I'm going to show you that when we go over those those videos, I'll explain more about that, how you can kind of twist around the root prim, and sometimes it's the prim you want to avoid putting a script in. So now I'm going to hit Edit Link Prims, and I'm going to left click on our root prim, hold down Shift, and I'm going to left click on the body prim while holding Shift down. I'm going to let off Shift. I'm going to go to Texture, go back to Color, and select that nice charming lime green. When the color editor comes up, there we go, and now we're back to green. Hit OK, hit Edit Linked, and there we go. I'm going to cam around here. Alright, so we got our basic car built. Nothing really fancy. And go to our inventory. And you can move up your edit box too, so you don't accidentally drop these scripts and sounds into like something else like the ground by accident. Sometimes when you're moving them, sometimes your mouse can glitch. Sometimes, I don't know, I guess my mouse might be turning to crap, but sometimes it'll highlight the road instead, and like, well, that's not where I wanted my prims to go. But usually they don't. Usually, like, this land isn't mine, so I can't really modify the land. I can't turn the land into a car. But so anyways, we moved our content editor close over to our inventory. Got the car highlighted, the root prim is the seat, and we're going to left click driving, hold down Shift, and then left click startup, and that's going to select everything, and just left click anywhere, hold down left click with Shift released, don't hold down a Shift, and then just drag those into the vehicle root prim, and those load up. Now sometimes if something doesn't work, what you'd want to do is double click on the script to bring it up. Now if a script is no modifier, you're not going to see any of this. You'll just see a message that says the script that you're choosing is no modifier and you can't view it. But you don't need to view it because you just hit reset. Sometimes that'll reboot the script. And you click off that, click off that. Alright, X that out, and let's minimize our inventory. Now this car is ready to drive. We right click and select drive, and you'll hear the startup sound in driving. Now we're sitting behind the damn car. A minute. Now I took the script back into my inventory, and it's back into the kit. So when you build your car, you're going to be sitting in the correct spot. You're not going to be sitting behind it like I was a second ago. Right click on your car once it's done and select drive. You hear it start up, and it's idling. That's the idle noise, that revving, and that's much better. And then to drive, you just use the arrow key. Now if you have preferences selected, you can select WASD, which that really helps out in mouse look, because you can drive in mouse look where you're driving in first person mode. That's how they navigate those racetracks in Second Life really quickly. But we're not going to do that. This is our basic car, so you can hit right or left turn or any of the arrow pad, and it'll pull your camera behind. I think this camera you can zoom in and zoom out. Yeah, some cameras are stuck, and if you can modify the camera, you have to adjust the camera to pull it back. But this one here, you can just scroll with the middle mouse button with the mouse scroll wheel, and we can drive just by going forward. Oh, and we're hauling. Okay, we're not supposed to be hauling, but this car is supposed to be going somewhat slow, and we're driving through the air. Okay. If that happens, you just hit edit, rotate, pull your camera back, and just rotate. I'm just kind of roughly snapping this to grid just so it'll be, there we go, and hit arrow, goes down, and you can drive around. I'm just tapping the forward arrow now. I'm not going to hold it down because I wasn't expecting this to go tear-assing off like that, but you can drive around. Pop this curb. Nope, this curb is going to be a biznatch. Yeah, it's going to be a biznatch. So if you're driving your car and you experience something like this where you can't get over a curb, you just right click your car, hit edit, and go screw you curb, I'm going up over you. Someone should call the Linden Department Works and get a ramp made on there for vehicles. And just tapping the arrow keys to turn and to go so I don't haul too much butt. But you're just driving around nice. I don't want to hit no region crossings and lag out. I'm driving around, and then when you get really good at driving, you hit page up, and then you see object whispers gear 2. Oh, object. Okay, we didn't. Darn it, I forgot to. Let's see. Right click, edit. Almost forgot one of the coolest parts of this. Go to the general tab and name it. You can name it car. There you go, lime green car. There we are. Now when you click page up and page down, those are the gears. That's how you shift. Now some motorcycles and some cars you have to hold down shift to hit that left and right arrow keys to shift. But page up and page down is a lot easier because you can shift as you're driving around and making your turns. I mean, the setup in this vehicle here, you definitely want if you're going to be like drag racing. You don't want to have to be able to. You don't want to have to let go of your steering buttons just to try and shift when you can just hit page up, page down, and just be shifting on the fly while you're controlling your steering. You can just keep hitting page up and it'll gear up. This car I think can go 150, I think, so I'm not gonna do that because we're just gonna fly off into the river over here or into the water. And you hit page down, you can gear down. If you notice I'm paging down, there is no reverse, but you just hit your back arrow or your down arrow and you'll reverse. So no need to worry about physics. Physics are good. And that's how you make a simple car in Second Life. It's the updated version with the no worry to the physics. As you can see, we have wood. Our wooden tires are doing just excellent on the ground. There's no friction there that's stopping us. Now cars don't really drive in Second Life. Like your wheels aren't really like spinning you. Let me see. Let me get off. And just real quick, I'm going to go ahead and show you. We're going to right click and select take to take a copy of our car. After you test it, that's what the hell am I? What am I running to? Thomas, what are you doing? Calm down. There we go. Go to objects, because whenever you take something into your folder or into your inventory, you're going to have it in your objects. Lime green car, I think I just put it into inventory where it'll be at the very bottom. And then we left click and drag out. Yeah, once you test out your vehicle, you always want to take a copy of it in your inventory, because you might hit a sim lag or something. You might crash, not be able to get back into SL. I mean, if that happens and your car's sitting somewhere, then whatever place you're on, if there's an auto return, which like 90% of places have auto returns, it'll give you back your car, and you'll be able to find it once again in your inventories. Well, we gotta roll up here real quick. Yeah, it'll be here. Where's that? In your lost and found. You have I got a bunch of stuff there I gotta basically delete because it's just old stuff I have copies of. Now my bikes are scattered all over, so I actually had one person. I met a buddy of mine at SL by. He told me that I had a bike land somewhere. I was riding somewhere and like I crashed. I couldn't get back into SL. My bike had like flown off and like landed at some some motorcycle club's headquarters. Like right on the front porch. My bike was sitting there. I was like, what the hell? I don't remember parking this there, but it's because I crashed one day and I was logged out. Not logged out, but I crashed and couldn't log back in. Oh, it's back to what I was saying. I don't know, I'm not sure on video game cars how they function, but because they seem to like their tires seem to grab the ground in video games, and they do actually seem to drive around. But in SL, these cars are just they're just gliding on the ground. And to show you what I mean, we're going to select Edit, and what I'm going to actually do is hit Edit Link Prims. I'm going to select the root prim and just unlink that sucker. Unlink. There we go. Hit Edit Link again to get it free. Now this car here is not driving really on the wheels. The wheels they're counted as solid, so it is keeping the rest of the car up off the ground, and it looks like it's driving on the wheels. But to show you better what I mean, I'm going to take our root prim with the driving scripts in it stuff, and I'm going to widen it out a little bit, give it a little more mass, a little more height. So just a little bigger rectangular block. This is our car seat, and we're going to set the drive. Now cars don't really, turn my AO off. There we go. So this is to show you, no matter how fancy the car is in Second Life, all they really do is they just kind of glide along, gliding along the ground. Look, this is a one prim car right here. One prim car. It's just gliding on the ground with no wheels. So this is how cars work in Second Life. I mean, no matter how fancy the mesh is, no matter how, no matter how awesome or realistic the car looks or the scripts, this is what cars are doing in Second Life. They're just basically gliding on the ground. Now there are scripts that make the wheels, that makes the texture on the wheels rotate so they look like they're driving. In actuality though, the actual cylinder prim that is your wheels, or not even cylinder, sometimes you can use a sphere to make wheels, and I'll show you that. That's a really cool trick, how to make sphere wheels. Or the Taurus wheels, they're not, the actual prim is not turning and grabbing the ground and making the car go like in real life. What's happening is your car is just gliding. But sometimes you have those wheel scripts that'll make it like your car is, they'll spin the wheels so it's like your car is really driving. And like when you steer, look, we don't even have front wheels, and we're able to control our car box. But there's also front wheel scripts that make the front wheels steer right and left, so it does look really realistic, like you're driving. And there's a suspension scripts, but I don't know, to me the suspension scripts don't really do a whole lot. They don't seem like when you're going up over curves, they don't actually like push the wheel up. I mean, like in video games, like if you're playing Grand Theft Auto 3 or whatever, or Grand Theft Auto 5, and you're bumping up on curves, you actually see your suspension working on those cars, and the car's actually kind of pitching and body rolling as it's driving along. But and that's how the cars really don't do that. They're really stiff. They're almost like toys. Like it's like a invisible hand's got this, car by the body, and it's just like sliding it down the road. So that's how like basic cars and car and vehicle control is in SL. And I mean, even like flying a plane and driving the boat, it's all down to like this. It's all down to a prim, sliding on the ground, or going through the air, or going on water. Look at this. There's absolutely no drag. Prim is not dragging the ground or flipping over. It's going really smooth, like really damn smoothly on the ground. So hey, if you're in a spot where you can res only one prim in an area, and you'll know at least you can make a one prim car like this. Now later on we're going to be getting into those more advanced or more detailed vehicle kits where we're going to be making cars with like fenders and curves and stuff, with textures on the wheels. Because right now these textures here, there is no textures, it's just basic color. I mean, if you've ever played the Atari games Hard Driving or Race Driving or Club Drive, this is the cars from there. I mean, just, you know, basic as you can get, solid color. That's it. No textures on the wheels, just black. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about as far as like hard driving or race driving or club drive, look them up online. There's Taco Man Plays Club Drive video, and you'll see just how basic. Those were like the first polygon cars. Well, I think hard driving was the first polygon car game, and then those other ones followed, but they were all from Atari. But I'm gonna go and stand up. Oh, turn our AO back on so we have some cool moves. I didn't realize too, as when you're coming into Second Life, some of those new mesh avatars do have AOs already with them, so you're already gonna have your avatar's already gonna have this like personality and these little movados, these little moves. You know, when I came into Second Life, it was just you were just standing straight. You were doing the what everybody calls like the noob stance. Let me show you. Take off your AO and you just doing that real basic, real basic stiff body walk. Look, I'm not even walking there. I'm just gliding. There we go. Doing that real basic stiff body walk and that goofy run. Yeah, I noticed that the other day though, that some of the new mesh avatars actually had like the AOs in them and stuff. If you choose a classic avatar, you know you can always find those mesh AOs in your library folder all the way at the bottom of your inventory, and you can wear the AOs from there. It won't say you're wearing them from the library folder. That library folder acts weird. It'll automatically throw stuff in your objects folder or into your clothing folder, depending on what you're selecting. And just to show y'all, it's all the way at the bottom right here, library. You hit library and there's a ton of stuff in here too. If you go into objects folder, where's the sculpt? There's sculpts. Wait, that's not sculpts. Where's the sculpts at? Yeah, making me look bad. Where the heck is the sculpts? There's some sculpted stuff. This is all hard prim stuff. Where in the heck? Oh, sculpt prims, examples. Here we go. So you got horse sculpt, and these are, I think they're all full perm too. This horse sculpt is actually pretty cool once it comes in. These are old sculpts too. I'm guessing these are probably 2005, 2006. And if you ever run across a sculpted skull that's in the freebie, some freebie areas will want you to pay like 30 linden for this sculpted skull, but you don't have to, because if you come right here to Sculpty 1 or Sculpty 2 by Lock Card Away and you res it, you'll have the skull for free. Ain't that cool? Now it's set on shine, and you can see it's a real shiny skull. And if you don't want that, you just hit edit, go to textures, go to texture diffuse, go to shininess spectacular, and you click none and go back to texture. Now what's cool too is, check this out. We're gonna go ahead and zero the root can't speak for crap. Zero the root rotation. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of this. See that Mustang? You can make that, not Mustang, you can make that horse. I don't even know if that is. That looks more like an Appaloosa, I guess. But I mean, you can make that horse into a car if you wanted to, by just putting your car underneath it, linking it all together, and then making your car invisible. Let me show you real quick on how to do that. Let's just go to recent items. Recent items. Lime green car. Well, there's a bit more we'll have to do to actually make that horse into a car, because we'll have to adjust our pose, because we'll be like sitting like we're on a car, and we'll be sitting on a horse, which will not match up. But one thing I'm going to show you right now is, so you can take this skull and you can put it on the front of your car. It's too big, so you just hit stretch, and oh, goodbye horse. Gonna delete the horse. We have a copy of it always in our inventory, so you can delete copies on the outside and you'll still have them in here. Hit stretch, and we're just gonna shrink that skull down, and it'll shrink down pretty good. Hit stretch both sides and just grab one of those the white overall stretchers, one of the white overall stretch blocks. Stretch that down. Let's position it, and we're going to stretch it down a little bit smaller. Probably like right there is good. I'm going to cam in and just eyeballing this. I'm going to just line it up really roughly. Move it back, down, rotate it forward a little bit. Have the skull selected, hold down shift and left click on the car, let off of shift and hit link, and our car is now gone from 8 pieces to now 15 with the skull, because the skull is made up of a couple different building blocks itself. And then we're gonna sit and drive this skull car. See, and that's just like some cool stuff you can do. It looks like he's got ears, like elephant ears. But that's one of the cool things. I like putting these skulls on the motorcycles that I build. Oh, do you see our avatar kind of like disappeared, and you can see the skull? Oh yeah, I have this sculpted skull in the front of our car is actually in my avatar's head. I put it in there, so you can wear that skull too. You gotta shrink it down so it fits. But yeah, let me just cam in myself, and you'll see. See, the skull is in. It's actually in my avatar head. I had to put it there though. You don't normally, you just see through your avatar. You don't have it. But this is another cool thing you can do, is wear the skull. Ain't that freaky? Now the jaw don't move. To get the jaw to move, I would have to unlink the jaw, unlink the lower teeth, and actually I would have to wear it as a separate piece on my jaw. I don't know. I guess it would work then, because the furry avatars have those flappy jaws that, as their avatar's jaws moving, like you see mine here while I'm talking, they have that flappy jaw that attaches, that moves too. Yeah, that's just, you can't really see the skull as you're driving, but other people will, whoops, I accidentally right click. I hate that. Sometimes I right click on it, on stuff. I meant to left click to cam in. Ain't that cool skull car? The people you're heading towards will definitely see it. Driving around with their skull car. Oh, that time I got up on the road. I guess that was a low spot we could get on the road. I love building around this area because there's nobody to bother you. Occasionally people will be walking down the street, but they're usually looking for stuff. Oh, hit a pole. I would hit a pole. Ran right into the damn thing. Okay, turn. Ah. Alright, I'm just gonna stand up for right now. There we go. Standing up, turn our AO back on. Alright, so that's how to build, that's the updated video on how to build a car in Second Life, a skull car at that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this car into my inventory, but in a minute. But right now, you know what to do. You just make your daddy proud by hitting that like and subscribe button if you like this video, and be sure to check out my other tutorials in the Into SL series, and this is Thomas XSL, Thomas Space SL, telling you to take care and have fun, and let me know how your cars come out. Now the links are going to be in the description below of the free car kits, and the next car we're going to mess with in the next video will be the unlockable car kit, which that one's really cool, and I'm going to bring on Queenie Meow to demonstrate that your friends can drive the car when you unlock it. Now this sports car kit is locked, and it's only the owner can drive it, so which is pretty cool, because if you're working on this somewhere where somebody does come along and they try and sit on it, they ain't going to be able to drive it, because they're going to get a message saying that what is it, the scripts in these cars, they'll give messages to non-owners saying sorry, only the owner can move this car, or it can be like this car doesn't belong to you. But in scripts you can modify, you can make that message anything. You can be like, hey, piss off, this ain't your car. Or, I mean, you can come up with some really funny messages. But anyhow, let me know how your cars come out, and let me know if you have any questions or concerns, or if something's not running right. Sometimes if you're in an area where scripts are not allowed to run, your car won't move, as was the case one of my first car builds. Is I kept thinking something was wrong with the script, and it was just the land didn't allow scripts to work. It's because some sandboxes in SL are like that. They don't let scripts work, and you think, well, that's a place to build, why don't they let scripts work? And usually it's because they don't want people going there with weapons and acting an ass and shooting at people. Even though, I mean, people shooting at your avatar, they're not gonna hurt your avatar, but I mean, sometimes you got those push bullets that will push your avatar across the sim, and it just makes a better work environment if they curb those kinds of people. But that's like Natoma's good because they get on people who act up there. They do have a shooting range for people with weapons, and they do allow scripts to function. I mean, if you don't allow scripts to function, the only thing you can really make is like houses without doors. I mean, that'd be the only. I mean, you could do like clothes or other stuff, non-moving stuff, and those non-script sandboxes. But here in this area I'm working at right now, it's wide open. I mean, there's no restrictions on this area, other than the auto return in 180 minutes. But let me know if you have any questions, or anything is not working right, or the car's not working right. Just let me know. And alright guys, but like I said, if you like this video, then you know what to do, and like, rate, and subscribe. Or like and rate is the same thing. Like and subscribe, I mean. And this is Thomas XSL and the Skull Car saying until next time, take care and have fun building.